If you live in Grove, you know that life with a dog often means life around Grand Lake. And while that's amazing, a beautiful day can get a little tricky if your dog gets nervous around all the boats and people. So we're going to walk through how you can find the right training to make sure every single one of those lakeside adventures is just plain fun for both of you.
Here's what we'll cover. First, we'll talk about why training a dog here in Grove has its own unique flavor. Then, we'll look at the different kinds of training you can choose from. After that, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of how to pick the trainer that's right for you. And finally, the best part, how to take those new skills out into the community.
Okay, so let's start with what makes Grove special. Training a dog here isn't just about the basic commands, sit and stay. It's really about getting them ready for our very active and very unique lakeside lifestyle.
Just picture a summer afternoon. You've got boats coming and going, families having picnics, people everywhere. It's a lot for a dog to take in. Having a well-trained dog means they can handle all that activity without getting stressed out, which means you can actually relax and enjoy your day together.
And there are some local things to keep in mind too. Grove requires leashes in public, and there are rules about excessive barking, which is a big deal when you think about how sound carries right across the water. Good training helps your dog navigate a busy boat launch or a crowded sidewalk, and it teaches them to stay calm around all the ducks, geese, and fishing lines. It's just about being a good neighbor.
So now that we know why training is so helpful here, let's talk about the what. We're going to break down the different training philosophies and formats so you know what you're looking for.
You're going to hear this term a lot, and for good reason. Positive reinforcement is simply rewarding your dog for doing the right thing. It's not about correcting them when they're wrong. It's about making them want to offer the right behavior. This approach builds an incredible amount of trust, and honestly, the results just last.
Now, when you start looking at trainers' websites, you might see a bunch of letters after their name. Don't worry, you don't have to memorize this alphabet soup. Just know that these credentials show that a trainer is serious about their education and has been certified by a professional organization. It's a really good sign of their expertise.
So should you do in-home training or group classes? Well, it depends on your goals. In-home is perfect for things that happen at home, like jumping on guests or barking at the window. Group classes are amazing for learning to focus when other dogs and people are around. A lot of people actually end up doing a little bit of both.
And if you recently adopted a dog, this is so helpful to remember. It's called the 3-3-3 rule, and it's all about patience. For the first 3 days, your new dog is just trying to figure out what's going on. After 3 weeks, they start to learn your schedule, but it can take a full 3 months for them to truly feel secure and at home. Any good trainer will keep this timeline in mind.
Okay, let's get down to it. This is the big one. How do you actually pick the right person to help you and your dog? Let's make sure you feel confident in your choice.
Think of this as your cheat sheet for interviewing trainers. You want to ask them directly about their methods, look for that positive reinforcement we talked about, ask how they'll tailor things for your specific needs here in Grove, and of course, get a clear understanding of the costs and how you'll both know that your dog is making progress.
Speaking of costs, this chart should give you a general idea of what to expect in our area. As you can see, there's a pretty wide range. Group classes are often a great starting point if you're on a budget, and those board and train programs, while they're a bigger investment, can be a really intensive option for specific goals.
This is probably the single most important takeaway. If you talk to a trainer and they mention things like dominance or being the alpha, or if they use tools designed to cause pain like shock or prong collars, that's your cue to walk away. Modern, humane training builds a confident dog, not a fearful one. And those positive results are the ones that actually stick around. All right, so after you and your dog have done the work with a great trainer, it's time for the fun part. Now you get to take all those new skills and weave them into your everyday life right here in Grove.
And we have some pretty amazing places to practice. You can work on walking nicely on a leash at Grove City Park with all the kids and bikes around, or head over to Bernice State Park to practice staying calm with campers and wildlife nearby. Even the grounds at Harbor Village are a great spot for practicing around a bit of foot traffic. This is where the training becomes real.
And what about this classic Grove dream? Enjoying a nice meal out on a restaurant patio by the lake. This is a fantastic goal to work toward. It means your dog needs to be able to lie down and relax at your feet, even with all the distractions. Good training is what makes moments like this possible.
At the end of the day, investing in training really gives you and your dog more freedom. It's the freedom to have a calm and happy home, to be a neighbor everyone loves, and to bring your best friend along on all the adventures that make living on Grand Lake so special. Best of luck on your training journey.